It's a great pleasure. It's a great pleasure. It's a great pleasure to have all of you here today.
Well, hi there. It's Jerry Kite with Naked Bible Study. Hope you're having a great day. Oh, yeah, I forgot. This is just a silly thing that I do that tries to make a point. Come as you are. Come as you are. Today's message is, you know the truth, so why aren't you living it? The key scripture today is James 1:22. But be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. So you already know what's right. You've heard sermons, you've read the word, you've felt conviction. So here's the real question. If you know the truth, why aren't you living it? I know it's kind of harsh. The scripture reading, James 1:22, again repeating, but be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. That last part is powerful, deceiving yourselves. It's not the enemy deceiving. It's not the world deceiving. It's you deceiving yourself. That's really the bottom line. What do I mean by this? Just so you understand. You ever meet somebody and they tell you they're saved, but their actions just really don't show that? They've heard the word, but they're not doing the word, Knowledge without action leads to self-deception. God is not impressed with how much scripture you know. He's looking at how much you obey. You can quote verses. Honestly, that's something I don't do. I don't have that type of memory, I guess. But I can go read it. I know the basic area where to find stuff. I know some people make a big deal out of memorization. You can quote verses. You can watch sermons daily. You can even teach others. But if it never changes how you live, you're living in spiritual illusion. Boy, I know a lot of people doing that. Sorry, it's sad to say, really. Jesus reinforces this in Matthew 7:26. The one who hears his words but does not act is like a foolish man who builds his house on sand. So you're just lacking that foundation, really. Truth isn't meant to be stored, it's meant to be lived. Why don't we live what we know? So why the disconnect? It's something to think about. Ask yourself some questions. There's comfort over calling. We know what God says, but obedience costs something. Forgiveness is hard. Purity is hard. Discipline is hard. Delayed obedience. We tell ourselves, I'll change later. It's like you ever meet somebody and say, right before I'm going to die, I'll get saved then. Okay. I don't know. But delayed obedience is still disobedience. Deception of good intentions. We think wanting to change equals changing. It doesn't. James 4:17 says, whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is sin. That hits pretty deep. Because now it's not ignorance, it's avoidance. Sometimes I think that's why some people don't want to go to church. They figure if they're ignorant, maybe it's a get out of jail free card or something. I don't know. Real faith moves. James 2:17 says, faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. It's not saying that if you go do good works, then you're saved. That's not the meaning behind that. It's saying, just like I was talking about earlier, if you're saved, there's going to be an outward display, an outward showing of that in your actions and your behaviors. And if it's not there, I think I'd be very, very concerned about how genuine that salvation was. I know a lot of people that claim to be saved, but I have doubts. I'm not Jesus, so I don't know, but I think I have doubts just because, when a person's truly saved, their actions change, their behaviors change. I have people tell me that I'm too kind or too nice to people. Just it's what I am. Living the truth doesn't mean perfection. It just means direction. You don't have to be perfect. God will use a lot of imperfect people and get a lot done with them, honestly. It just means direction. It means moving in the right direction. It means when God speaks, you respond. When He convicts you, you adjust. When He calls, you move. And a lot of people struggle with that. Even small steps of obedience matters. Practical application. Ask yourself right now, what is one thing God has already told me to do? Where am I making excuses instead of moves? What truth am I hearing but not applying? Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. If God's calling you to do something, do it. I felt God's calling to do something when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And I saw all these people arguing and fighting and bickering and all this junk online. And I thought, well, I think there's a better way to use that energy and time. So I started making these videos. And I started organizing it. And just to be clear, I don't want to make a dime off of this. I'm not doing this for monetary reasons. If I am, I'm really bad at it. I can tell you that. It's not my goal or really even my desire. If for some reason this thing took off and it really started making money, I would take that money and I would use it for something maybe like a soup kitchen or something. I don't know. But anyways, start with one act of obedience today. So here's my challenge. You don't need more truth. You need more action. Because at the end of the day, the difference between a transformed life and a stagnant one is not what you know, it's what you do. So today, don't just hear the word, live it. Go do something. Imagine if every person that claimed to be spiritual or claimed to be saved or claimed to be a Christian, if we all did one really nice act of kindness every day, just one. I think the unsaved would be shocked. I think it would show God to the world that doesn't know God, I believe. Anyhow, so today, don't just hear the word, live it. That's the message. Know that I love you, and know that this message is just as much to me as it is from me. I love you. Have a great day. Bye.